those who doesn't know me, my name is Pedro, and in this tutorial we're going to learn how to create files. So first command that we are going to learn is touch. Touch is the command to create a file, and then we press space and the name of the file, which in our case is going to be password, and now we put .txt because it's always important to keep in mind that Linux is not like Windows, where you have the option to create a new file and then you also select the type of the file. In Linux you have to always put the type of the file. In our case it's txt, but you could use bash or whatsoever file like db. So in our case it's going to be a txt file. I'm going also to teach you, if you want to create multiple files, it's pretty easy also. You just need to use, in this case I'm going to create two .env file, and also I'm going to create another one, could be cronjob.sh. Now you can see over here on the left panel, both were created at the same time, simultaneously. Cool. For you who doesn't know what .env file, it's a secret file, so it will keep all the secrets from your database or API secret keys, everything more related that you don't want to expose for others. And .sh is basically a bash file, so in our case I just put this name like cronjob because it could been a cronjob file, you know, like that run every half hour or a delimited period on your computer. Cool. Now that we have learned how to create a file, what is an environment variable file or whatsoever, let's see how do we modify these files, or how do we add content to these files. To add content we have two options. One is bin or Nano. I'm going with the former first, and then I'm going to teach you with the latter also how to modify another file. So we type bin password.txt. Cool. You're going to notice that you appear in this different screen, which is inside the file where you can modify the file. Cool. Some terminals, they need to type the I command first, like the I letter, and then you are able to insert, as you can see over here. I will press ask and now it's appear, but if I press I, you can insert. Also some like more modern like command lines, just by typing, sometimes just by typing it already accepts the insert, but it's not at all, like it's not all of the command lines. So would recommend to you always when you start press I and then you modify file, because now you know that's being able to insert. So cool. As this is a password file, I'm going to put Pedro 2 points and my password 1234. And as you can see over here in the left, guys, we have the password file, but also now we have password.txt.swp. What this means? This means it's, and a swap file, it's basically a file created in the memory to keep the record of what is being edited, but it doesn't mean that's going to persist. It's basically a same link to the original file. So once I hit ask column wq, which means write and exit on the Vim terminal, and I press enter, is going to close this swappable file and going to persist the changes that I provoke into the file, into the original file. So as you can see over here, and if I use the command cat, which is to see the content inside the file, if I go cat password.txt, you can see now we have our current value over here. Another option that we have also, it's the Nano, and I'm going to edit my .env file, and it's pretty similar like Postgres database. The only difference here, guys, is instead of having to press I, we just start typing and we'll immediately already create the changes for us over here. And also another difference, it doesn't show that it has like a swap file over here. It just creates internally and doesn't let us, like normal users, to see. And in order to save the changes, we just press Ctrl exit, Ctrl X, Ctrl X, and it's going to say, oh, do you want to save the changes from the buffer, which is the name of the file, from the buffer to the original file? And then you can say yes, no, or cancel to go back and do more changes. So in our case, I'm going to press yes because I do want to keep these changes, and I press yes, enter, and here you go. I press cat.env, and now I can see over here Postgres database, Postgres, which is pretty easy, right guys? Now if you want to not also see the content of the files, but let's suppose you want to concatenate and create another file, like you could also use the cat command. In our case, we could use cat and .env and the password, and we could also create into a new file. First, here I'm going to quickly create another file, otherwise it's not going to create because I need to have one file. So I'm going to create a concatenation.txt. Cool. Now the file is created already. I'm going to just put the file over here, and now as you can see, this command now is going to concatenate the value inside here on .env and inside password.txt to the concatenation.txt file. When I hit enter, it's saved now. If I use the cat command again, but now this time just to see the content of the file, I can see that the values from each file, it's concatenated into the original file, in the concatenation file. This is pretty handy, like if you feel like, oh, I want to join two files and I don't know why or how. Mostly I use this command for minifying and also concatenating JavaScript files when you are uploading to a production server. Back in the days, like when you just use static files or PHP, like it's pretty useful. And another command that I also want to teach you, because I find for myself very useful, is if you want to search for some name, like let's suppose you want to find the Postgres database but you can't find like where, in which file it is. So you can just use grep, and we can put Postgres underscore database, and in our case I can just use search for a file in this case, which I'm going to put concatenation.txt, and here it is. You already find it. And if I want to search on password, it's not going to give anything. On .env, here it is. Grep is very useful if you have some grasp or of which file it is and what's the content that you want to search inside it.